Okay, everyone, let's do this for June 22nd, 2023. My name is Michael Nauss. I'm chartered market technician and quantitative trader. And again, what we do every day here on the channel is we go through and we just talk about what's happening in the markets, what's happening in equities, in crypto, in FX. If it trades, I'm interested in it. So, as always, if you want access to any of the softwares you see me use, go to statsedgetrading.com. You can also scan the QR code. And also, if you want access to the email list here, and then all of the charts that I put out, which is in the email as well, plus all the charts that you don't see. There's probably another 10, 15 charts in there every day that I just don't feel are interesting enough to keep these videos because I'm trying to keep them a little bit bite size so that they don't drone on for too long, as I'm known to do. So, speaking of that, let's just get into it. So, we're starting here with Bitcoin, just an inside day, right? We were talking about this big kind of push yesterday. I talked about how now I'm kind of in a bullish Bitcoin mood. So, I need to see some sort of resting sideways, some sort of pullback, some sort of entry. I'm not going to chase something that's up 25%. I want to see it chill for a little bit first. And we're starting to see that with today, but maybe I would want to see more than one day, right? Give me a week or two of sideways action or a pullback or something like that. Some sort of corrective action. So I'm not just chasing something that's just kind of running away. The other thing is gold finally broke down on this level. I'd taken a couple pops off there and taken a few bucks from them. And then I kind of warned that, hey, when gold breaks down, it's probably going to break pretty hard. So I was able to get out of the way yesterday and then just completely kind of fell apart today. So gold now, it's broken for me. I need to see some sort of setup to occur before I'm interested at all in gold. And that's just kind of how it works with those. You trade them as long as you can, and then you get out of the way when they're no longer interesting. You move on to something else. So now the S&P 500, looking at the markets right here, talked about how orderly and clean this pullback is, how it just, is a perfect pullback. It's exactly what you want to see. We have, inclining volume on the way up as we break out. We have these big green bullish looking candles. And then on the way down, we have these kind of soft red candles and then declining action here as well. So we have this combination of, hey, this is super, super strong. And then when it pulls back, it's kind of weak. They're not panicking on the pullbacks anymore. So that's kind of what you want to see. Today was some good action as well, where we gapped down and then we rallied up pretty much to yesterday's high. So gap downs are being bought, sell-offs are being bought. This is what you expect to see in a bull market. And, for my opinion, that's what we're in. We're in a nice bull market, so we need to continue to look to the long side. Jets here, nice kind of bull flag as things consolidate here after a nice breakout in Jets. So Jets I kind of use for the entertainment, I guess, or vacation industry, I guess you could call it overall. If people are flying, then they're probably also taking cruises and they're probably staying in hotels and they're probably going to theme parks, right? So it's a good way to kind of look at that and say, okay, is the vacation kind of a space, hospitality, that's probably the word I should look for. Is the hospitality space booming? Jets obviously thinks that it is with this consolidation. If this resolves higher, I want to get involved in names like that. So URA with uranium, we broke out of this area right here. You could see we had resistance back here and then right here. We broke out of that and now we're pulling back to it. And this is also the anchored VWAP from this low right here and right to that, to the tick. So I'm watching uranium to see if it can push off. If so, I'll build some uranium kind of stocks. And then just an update on my KRE trade. This is something that I've been mentioning for a while, where I'm doing a little bit of bottom picking here on KRE just in case the worst is over. So I bought some as it broke through this $40 area. We got up to 44, so like a 10% gain. So I took a little bit off the table there, and now we're back down to $40, which is also the anchored VWAP from the all-time low. So if we see kind of some support in this area and start to push up, I will buy back in what I took out for that 10% gain. If we, trade too far under, say, 39, 38 area, I'll just cut it and I'll wait for another setup on that one. So that's what I'm looking for on KRE. So BRBR, we put on the list yesterday. that worked out phenomenally today. So bought a little bit as it came through here. Nice looking trade on that name. And again, I was still involved in some here. So I just bought a little bit more. I didn't double up on my position or anything, but just a little bit more there. CELH I added here. And this one, the simple idea is we've got the anchored VWAP right before the gap here. We also have a 14% short float, or almost 15% short float, as this thing is pushing higher. So I say it all the time, you don't want to short thing, or you don't want to buy things with heavy short floats that are tanking, like, the meme stocks and all of this, because the shorts are winning. The stock sucks, the company doesn't make any money, it's tanking. What you want to do is you want to look for high short floats where the stock is actually rocketing, because that tells you that those shorts are wrong, and wrong shorts have to cover. MDB, I just want to look at this one here just to show you guys why I kind of wait for the close. It had this pretty epic move right off the open. Came right back into the anchored VWAP from before the gap, which is exactly what we're looking for, and then just rocketed. When it was up here, I was kind of looking at it. I made a tweet about it, but I always wait for the close. I want to see what the closing print is before I get in. And then we just sold from that. So again, I need to see a close above this 390 area. You can see we have a topping tail here, and then now right here. So there's some selling going on in that area that I need out of my way before I am super interested in it. We also added, scroll down here, added a few names. We added CCL. CCL, this kind of goes along with what I was talking about with Jets. If Jets is moving, hospitality is moving, people are probably taking cruises, CCL could have another little push here. And again, it's dealing with the anchored VWAP from this area right here. What else did I add today? BWXT, basically just playing from this level here. You can see this swing low, and then you can also see right from before this gap. The anchored VWAPs kind of line up right here, really because this massive volume day kind of pulled all those anchored VWAPs up. So we're now have two bottoming tails under those. So if we get a move the next day, I'm super interested in this one. This one I want to talk about with LMND. We've got kind of two things going on. So we have the anchored VWAP from right before the gap. We've pulled into that, and then we have the anchored VWAP from the all-time lows, and we're pulling into that. So we're right in that area. Again, two bottoming tails in this area. Lemonade, it's an insurance brokerage, I guess. I have no idea, but an interesting look on that one that we have to play and kind of look to see, hey, if we're going to get a bounce from here, then maybe that'll be a good price to get involved in this one. 26% short float on this name, 26%. It's very, very interesting. So keeping with this theme, and this is something that I'm playing with a little bit more as we go through this, is basically looking at stocks that have been beaten up, they're bouncing, and then I'm anchoring a VWAP from that all-time low. And when they come into it, if I see support, I'm looking to take a little bit of a trade off it. Now, this is a little bit more counter trend, and it's still something that I'm playing with. I'm just adding this to the anchored VWAP from the gaps play that I'm loving very much. You can see I'm quickly becoming a convert to Brian Shannon's way of thinking with anchored VWAP. So this SYNA, again, you can see from the weekly chart, 200 down to 82. Right, so really, really, really beaten down. And then you anchor a VWAP, right? I'm not buying the thing as it's tanking. I want to see, at least on the daily chart, a little bit of an uptrend starting to commence. And then I'm anchoring a VWAP from the low, just like I did with KRE there. And you can see a little bit of support right there, a little bit of support right there, a little bit of support right there. So if we get a move off this level, I know I can take the trade. I know I can put my stop out. And hell, if I'm right, then these things could really get going. So, I'm risking, say I'm in at 83 down to 80. So I'm risking $3 a share. Could this thing get up to $100? Well, absolutely. That would still be a 50 or a well over 2/3 of a drawdown from all-time highs. So again, for these kind of shorter term trades, they make sense for me. Now, the stuff's in uptrends, I think are probably better holds for long term. this stuff that's in longer term downtrends, I think you could play some bounces on. Again, I am one that I like to diversify by systems. I think it makes way more sense as opposed to trying to diversify by assets, because, in crashes, all correlations of all assets go to one. I'm just looking to diversify by strategy. So I've got TI strength, that works well. I'm using the anchored view app from these gaps, that works well. I trade traditional just bull and bear flags as well. So this is just something that I'm adding, and I'm going to test it out, trade these a little bit small off the bat just to see if they start working well. Then I'll size them up and they just become part of my playbook as well. So it's just an interesting way. I just wanted to show you guys, hey, when I think about new ideas, this is how I do them. They make sense to me. They're in trends, uptrends for kind of my time frame anyway. They're just really beaten down on these longer term charts. And, I know right where I'm wrong. I know right where I'm right. So everything's covered, so that I think they'd be good enough trades to make some money off of. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you very much. Tomorrow or over the weekend, whenever I get to it, we have the longer term, so the weekly lesson where I go through the entire week. I switch everything over to weekly charts. We go, what happened this week? What do we think's happened last week? Get a really zoomed out look, which I really, really like. So if you want that, make sure you subscribe or follow on whatever you're seeing this on, and sign up for that email list at statsedgetrading.com.